welcome back. And thank you again, Gia, for sponsoring the refresher break. Over the last year, the Baking Industry Forum has focused on a topic that's changing the way we work, communicate, and make decisions every day. AI. Artificial intelligence is no longer something to think about for the future. It's a practical tool that organizations can begin using today to improve productivity, solve problems, and of course, create new opportunities. Today's session is designed to move beyond the hype and into real-world applications. Whether you're just getting started or already experimenting with AI, you'll leave with practical ideas, useful prompts, and tools you can begin using as soon as you return to the office. Please join me in welcoming our speaker, Jon Lakefish.
Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing today? Awesome. Okay, so we're going to have a kick-ass time for the next hour and 45 to hour and 50 minutes. We're going to have fun. We're going to have a chance to really get into how you can use AI right now to impact your business. But before we do that, I had a chance to have Renee do a quick little interview with me. So I want to show you what he's doing for my intro.
Every one of us is hearing the same word right now, AI. And most of the advice out there is hype, fluff, or flat out confusing. Our next speaker is the opposite of that. He's one of North America's most in-demand AI keynote speakers, and he keeps it real and practical. He brings 20 years of branding and marketing, live demos, and tools you can actually use the minute you leave this room. No tech background needed, just real results. BEMA, please put your hands together for the founder of Lakefish Group, Jon Lakefish.
Thank you, Renee, for being my guinea pig. Way to go, bud. That was awesome. So here's what I want to share, because I absolutely love starting my sessions with a video of somebody in the room that's bringing me in to do the speaking. And what I love about this opportunity is this is literally three things. This is Renee's LinkedIn photo. That's it. I popped it into a platform called Gemini, which is Google. And I said, hey, can you adjust his clothing so he looks like he's on the beach in Hawaii? That's what they created, that image. Then I went into Claude, my #1 AI platform, and I will encourage you all to sign up for it. I went into Claude and I said, hey, Claude, you know everything about my keynotes and my workshops and how I train people to use AI right now to benefit their businesses. Can you create the intro that Renee will do when he introduces me to the room? The words that you just heard, 100% copy-pasted from Claude. And then the last thing I had to do was put it into Google's video platform, VO 3.1, and say, hey, can you make the person in this photo say these words? That's it. This took me 10 minutes on the flight with my son here 2 days ago. That's how quick this stuff can happen. So I want everybody to understand. And the advancements, oh my God, the advancements over the course of the last year are beyond anybody's scope and anybody's thought process. This video a year ago would have been okay. This video today is spectacular, and it's only getting better every single day. So here's my promise to everybody in the room today. I am not here to be the guy that speaks to you and you guys leave and you're like, well, that was nice, but what can I put to work? What I'm here to do is to make a promise that when we leave today, everybody in this room will know how to use several AI platforms that you can put work tomorrow. Okay? That's my promise to everybody. So when we get done here, I'm going to ask for a show of hands on who learned something today and can put it into work tomorrow. And if you don't raise your hands, find me in the parking lot, and we can have a short little discussion about how I could have done this differently to make sure that everybody understands something. So we're going to do three things. We're going to start by giving everybody a level reset on where AI is today. During that process, we're going to laugh a little bit. We're going to see some exciting videos. We're going to have some fun, because I want everybody to understand that these tools are here to stay and they're getting better every single day. Then we're going to pass out lunch, and we're going to go into what I'm going to call the hot seat version. I've got a few brands that I've had the pleasure of standing in front of or behind of at some type of line for a meal. They don't know who they are. And we're going to pull them up here. And I've had AI do a couple things for them already, and we're going to have AI do a couple more things for them live. So you can see how easy and how quick these tools can be used to benefit your business now. And then the last 20 minutes or so, we're going to look at the future of AI. So that's our roadmap for today. That's my promise to you. I am a super casual speaker, so you're going to see me come down here in a minute. If you have a question that you think is very relevant, just raise your hand, and I can answer it quickly. I don't want to take too much time, but I absolutely want people to feel like you're a part of this presentation today, because that's the whole goal, is that you're going to leave here today feeling like you can use these tools tomorrow. So who am I? In all honesty, it doesn't really matter anymore, because AI has allowed college students who have been using the tools for 3.5 years to be an amazing asset to your company the day they start. So my undergraduate degree in psychology from Oregon, it's good. Psychology has actually allowed me to work really well with the AI platforms to make sure that they do what I want them to do. My MBA from the University of Washington's Foster School of Business, it's a benefit. It's great. It's wonderful for me, and it's allowed me to succeed really well in my life. But if I'm bringing in a new employee today, number one question, how can you use AI to make our business better tomorrow? Number one question. If you don't ask them that question, they're not coming to work for you, because they either assume you're not going to let them use AI, which is a joke, or there's another company out there they're interviewing with who is telling them in the interview, we're expecting you to use AI, and they are not going to accept a position where they're not able to use it. So that's my background. My son, the bottom left-hand picture, there's 2 boys in there. The youngest one is Cameron. He's actually here with me this week. And he's the reason why I quit my job 4 years ago and started my own company, and have now started 3 different companies, all using AI. Cameron went through 3.5 years of significant surgeries at Children's Hospital, about 185 days in the hospital over the course of those 3 years. And when he came out healthy in January of 2020, I was talking to my wife and I said, you know what, my priorities have changed. That corporate job that I had that was high paying, that was high stress, that I literally would spend the night in the hospital with my son and get up at 6 and be in my office by 6:30, said, I don't want to do that anymore. I love helping businesses succeed by doing things in a way that saves them money and time by using the gig economy before AI was launched. And she said, well, if you want to start your own company, I'm there to support you as long as we have the financial wherewithal to do it. And I said, we do, which is awesome. And thank God I didn't put in my notice, because the pandemic happened 2 months later, and I would have been screwed if we had done it then. So I waited 2 years. Then I quit my job and I started my own company. And 6 months after I started, November 30th, 2022, the oldest son, Carson, was taking video game college classes at a school called DigiPen. It's the #1 video game programming college in North America. He was 15 at the time. And he came home and he said, our professor introduced us to ChatGPT today. And I said, what the hell is ChatGPT? He said, come here, I'll show you. So he opened up his laptop and he went to ChatGPT, and he was writing code for a video game. And he said, let me put the code into ChatGPT, and I'm going to ask it to confirm if the code is clean, and if it's not, to give it back to me with clean code. And it did it. It took the code that he had written, it removed any of the bugs in the coding platform, and it gave it back to him clean. Again, this is all way over my head because I'm not a coder. I don't know what's going on. I'm just trusting that he's telling me the truth. So the next morning, I woke up and I'm like, wait a second. If that platform could do that for Carson, could it help me create a radio script for a client of mine that was building 7,000 homes in the Seattle, Puget Sound area, that was taking a town of 3,000 people to a town of 25,000 people? And we had 12 different builders building homes, and we had a retail village going up, and we had parks that we created, and we were doing community events, bringing 4,000 or 5,000 people together to jump in bouncy houses. And the radio script it gave me back was the best radio script I'd ever seen in my entire 25-year career as the head of marketing and branding for billion-dollar brands. Something that I would have paid thousands of dollars to an agency to create. And that day, my entire life changed. I started calling my clients and saying, hey, have you heard about this ChatGPT thing? And some of them said yes, some of them said no. So would you be interested in having us use these tools to help us do marketing and branding for you, knowing that it's going to save you a ton of money? Because we can use the gig economy and we can use AI, and we will save 50 to 80% of what normally costs to do marketing and branding. They all said yes, as long as their data was safe. We're going to talk about that in a minute, because your data is safe if you're on the business or enterprise plan. If somebody's telling you differently, they're wrong. We'll talk about that in a minute. So, started doing it for my clients. And then somebody out of California something called PCBC, the Pacific Coast Builders Company Conference, called and said, hey, we hear what you're doing with AI. We know that you have been working in our industry for 5 or 6 years. You've been known to kind of disrupt the marketing and branding for this world. Can you come and do a presentation to our audience about how you're using AI to benefit folks in the new home construction world? And I said, sure, I'd love to. I'd never spoken to a large group other than business meetings and leadership meetings for the companies that I represented. So I flew down to LA, I gave a presentation, it went pretty well, I left. A week later, I got a call from the conference folks saying, holy cow, the conversations that were stirred that night at dinners and happy hours after your presentation were like nothing we've ever seen before. And the scores for that presentation were the highest we had that year and for several years prior. And all of a sudden, I went from doing one keynote at one conference in California to 120 of these all over the world over the course of the last 22 months. It has been an insane ride, but I absolutely love it. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to learn. And then this wonderful woman in the picture, she's my wife. We are 23 years married. We got married on the beach in Maui. And then at our year anniversary, we were here on this island. So it has been 22 years since I've been here, and it's an awesome time to come back. So she's the reason I can do this, because she takes care of the family while I travel the world. Okay, before we jump into artificial intelligence, here's a video. If you've seen it, don't answer. If you've seen it, there's more to it than you think. That's the clue I'm going to give you.
The monkey business illusion. Count how many times the players wearing white pass the ball.
Okay, keep the lights down for me for just a second. So, give me your guesses. Who's got a guess? 16. Okay, who said 16? Raise your hand. All right, those that said 16 were correct. But
The
I'm
correct
sure
answer is 16 passes. Did you spot the gorilla?
who spotted the gorilla?
People who haven't seen or heard about a video like this before, about half miss the gorilla. If you knew about the gorilla, you probably saw it. But did you notice the curtain changing color or the player on the black team leaving the game?
Okay, so those of you that have seen it before, tell me if you saw the curtain changing colors or the person leaving the game. Usually there's one person in a room of 500. So one person back there? 2 people? So that's why I love this video, because those of you that have seen it before were like, oh, I know what's going to happen, but you don't. So now we're going to see the actual reality behind it.
Let's rewind and watch it again. Here comes the gorilla, and there goes a player, and the curtain is changing from red to gold. When you're looking for a gorilla, you often miss other unexpected events. And that's the monkey business illusion.
Okay, so that's the monkey business illusion. The reason I share that is because in the world that I've operated in for 25 years, perception is reality. If we created a TV commercial where for some strange reason that commercial wasn't perceived the way we wanted it to be perceived, we canceled the commercial. We waited till our next window, whenever our budget would allow us to create another commercial, and then we try again, right? We'd put a training video out showing folks how do you do or create this new menu item in Outback Steakhouse, which is where I worked for 14 years as their head of marketing in the Northwest. We would train out a training video showing people how to create a new menu item. And God forbid that menu item wasn't created the way that we wanted it to, or somehow the instructions were incorrect. Then we would just rely on one team member to try to go into every restaurant and confirm with them what the mistake was. But guess what? With today, with AI, we can change all of these messages like that for $30 a month, instantly. You can create a training video using VO 3.1 today for $40 a month. And if something is not perceived the way you want it to be perceived, you can change it instantly. Have a voiceover, have the CEO's voice included. You can clone your brand's voice, your CEO or your spokesperson on 11 labs in under 30 minutes for clear professional audio. And it's $20 a month. That's it. You can do that today. When I was with Outback, I had a woman who took 2.5 minutes of her life to call my office line and leave a message berating me and my brand for how horrible we were for the TV commercial that we created. And at that time, the only thing I could use was YouTube. And so I went on YouTube and I'm like, what are the commercials for our competitive set? Because our commercial was literally a dad getting out of his car with 2 bags of curbside takeaway, and his kids ran up to him, grabbed the food, and ran inside without giving him a hug. Kind of humorous, kind of fun, but that's it. There's nothing offensive about that. So on YouTube, I found out that Applebee's had a commercial where there were 2 police officers that had arrested a man, and instead of taking him to jail, they went to Applebee's, left him in the back of their patrol car, while they went in and had a dinner together. And apparently something like that had happened to this woman, or her husband, and she was pissed. So I called her and I said, well, I appreciate you taking the time to find me. I do have some news for you, though. That wasn't us, that was our competitor, Applebee's. So don't ever eat at their restaurant again. Instead, come in and join dinner with us. And I sent her a $45 gift card, and she came in and had dinner at one of our restaurants in the Seattle area. But it shows you the perception versus reality. I wouldn't have known that that commercial potentially offended her if she hadn't taken the time. And with AI today, any feedback you get, customers, stakeholders, vendors, clients, families that use your product, somebody who bought King's Hawaiian and ate it at a Super Bowl party, you can get feedback from them and you can make adjustments on the fly like you've never done before. That's the big part of what we can do with AI. We can be authentically ourselves and we can change messaging to make sure that what we're putting out there is what we want people to see and hear and what is authentic and unique about our brand.
If you are not using AI tools every day of your life, you're making a huge mistake. You've got to start training. Whether you need it or not is irrelevant. You're gonna need it and you're gonna interact with it every day. So the faster you're good at it, remember when you met executives 20 years ago, 10 years ago, that still don't even use email and they have their secretary print out the email, when it felt so weird? That's how not using AI will feel.
So who here is using an AI platform every single day of their careers? Raise your hand. Okay, now keep your hands up if it's Copilot. All right, how about ChatGPT? Okay, makes sense. How about Claude? Hey, this is the largest percentage of folks in the room that are using Claude that I've ever seen, so that's awesome. How about Manus? Okay, we're gonna look at Manus today because it is one of my all-time favorite platforms. Anybody using Gemini? Okay, so a couple of you are using Gemini. I love this because here's what's happening. The world is changing every single day. And all of these tools are becoming more powerful than we ever could have imagined.
First time, you don't ask AI what, where, when, how. You ask it create, do, build. You ask it to use tools, take your context, read files. It's able to agentically break down a problem, reason about it, reflect on it. It's able to solve problems and actually perform tasks. An AI that was able to perceive became an AI that could generate. An AI that could generate became an AI that could reason. An AI that could reason now became an AI that can actually do work, very productive work. Finally, AI is able to do productive work, and therefore, the inflection point of inference has arrived.
So how many of you are using Claude Cowork? Okay, wow, very few. So here's the deal. Every year I attend Jensen's NVIDIA conference in San Jose. He's always the keynote speaker. This year, the biggest shift was a change from what I would call conversational AI platforms, which are typically LLMs, which are most of you are used to, ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, to agentic platforms. And the difference between the two is pretty clear and pretty simple. Number one, an LLM, or the way the platforms performed 6 months ago, was you would have a conversation with the platform. You would ask it a question, it would give you an answer, then you'd start going back and forth, and you'd try to kind of refine whatever it was you were looking to solve. Today with agentic, it's a different story. Today with agentic, we actually propose 10 or 12 different things we want the platform to do, and it goes out and does all 10 or 12 of those things autonomously with different agents, and then it comes back with its best answer after all of these agents have done their specific task, and then reported back to one another, pulled all the information together, and provide you with the best answer. And oftentimes, the agents will come back and say, hey, I've got a few questions for you. And it'll ask you to go through and answer these questions. And that is how we get to what Jensen was just talking about. These platforms will do the work for you as long as you provide them with clear direction on exactly what you want them to do. And they will do it in the background while you're doing whatever else it is you need to do for your career. And it can be done today.
If I was 16, 18, 20, 21, starting today, I would spend every waking minute learning about AI. Even if I'm sleeping, I'm listening to podcasts talking about AI, trying everything. Because my whole Instagram and TikTok feeds are now AI hacks. It's one thing to have a business and how you integrate AI, that's one thing. But if you're just getting started, as you learn these things, it's so much easier to start. Now you have a mentor, whether you use Perplexity, Anthropic, Claude, ChatGPT, Gemini, it doesn't matter. You have experts, and you might say, well, those hallucinate. Let me just tell you, your mentors and experts don't always get it right either. So you've got these experts who can answer questions and help you understand what you don't know. You've got these tools that'll just spider everything, that'll do your emails, that'll do sales calls for you. Are you kidding me?
Keep the lights down for me. So who here is using connectors? Keep the lights down so I can see the crowd for just a second. Who here is using connectors in any of the platforms? You guys need, wow. Okay, we're gonna have fun. This is gonna be a fun time. Okay, so every single platform has connectors, and you have to be connected to them. They can connect to your Gmail, your Google Drive, your Office, your 365, your SharePoint, your HubSpot. They can connect to all of those right now. So you can go in there and be like, hey, HubSpot, can you tell me what I need to know about the last 100 email campaigns that we've sent out and whether they were effective? And then can you draft the new campaign based on the most effective ones that we've sent out over the course of the last 3 months? You can do that today, right? In Claude, I can put in a list of 100 companies that have asked me to potentially come and speak to them. And I can say, hey, I want you to do research on the following things. This, remember I mentioned a minute ago on the agentic, you give it a list. Number 1, here's 100 people. Number 2, here's the 100 companies they represent. Number 3, here's the audiences that they're going to put me in front of. Number 4, I want you to do research on all of those and find out how my keynotes and workshops can best impact that audience. Number 5, then I want you to draft an email to that person that introduces who I am, what I can do, and is specific to their event. And then I want you to put that email in my draft inbox, and I'll review it before I send it. And 7 minutes later, I have 100 emails in my draft inbox, all in my voice, my tone, because it's been trained on who I am and how I speak. That can be done today. Literally today. So I'm going to show you the connectors in a little bit so everybody can understand. These tools are out there now for everybody to use. And I know it's hard to believe, but these things will save you an ungodly amount of time. And more importantly, I hope that everybody in this room is here because you're not looking to cut your marketing team or your team at all. What you're looking to do is be able to allow your team to perform so much more effectively than ever before and double your size in the next 5 years. If you're coming to me and saying, hey, I would love to learn how to use these tools so I can cut 50% of my workforce, I'm not your man. That's absolutely not why I'm here. What I'm here to do is to allow you to empower your team to use the tools to make them better at what they love to do. That's why we're here. Okay, who here is willing to admit they've watched South Park? And I don't want your hands to stay down because everybody's watched South Park.
Wendy just came up to me and was acting all hurt because she thinks I don't care about her. Uh-huh. When she said that she wishes I would reply to her text the way that Clyde responds to babies, so, like, how do you do it? ChatGPT, dude. ChatGPT? Yeah, dude. There's a bunch of apps and programs you can subscribe to that use OpenAI to do all your writing for you. People use them to write poems, write job applications, but what they're really good for is dealing with chicks. Here, check it out. There's tons of ChatGPT apps for your phone. So then I can take whatever latest dumb thing Bebe texted me, I copy it, then I open the GPT app, click respond to, paste her text here, hit write, it just thinks for a second. You would look great with any length of hair, trying a new look could be fun. Copy that into messages and send it off. It's super easy and convenient, and it saves me a ton of time because she texts me so goddamn much. Jesus Christ! I probably won't do it, but thanks for being supportive. Cut, paste, write, cut, messages, paste, send. There.
Oh God, thank you for laughing. I know how today is going to go based on the response to that video. I have been in one room where it didn't go well. And I was like, oh crap, this is going to go downhill fast. I love that episode because the two founders of South Park, 3 months after ChatGPT launched, went in and said, hey, we wrote the first 20 minutes of a new episode. ChatGPT, will you write the last 5? That's the episode. You can hop on Comedy Central or YouTube, type in ChatGPT South Park, and you can see the episode. It's not the best, but it was also 3 months after ChatGPT launched. And it was pretty damn good. And then they also allowed a group to create something called the simulation. This has transitioned how Hollywood is operating. Because the simulation has every episode of South Park uploaded into it. And then you and I can go into the simulation. We can create our own South Park episodes with prompts. Because it's been trained on all the South Park episodes. This is happening for other television series now where you put Grey's Anatomy in and you say, let's change the city to Dallas. And now they have a pilot for a Dallas version before they have to pay anybody to come in and do the actual pilot work.
You can kick rocks if you don't like how I talk. I'm gonna keep on talking and walk my walk. Ain't changing my tone, ain't changing my song. I was born this way, been loud too long.
The first ever fully AI generated music that hit America's top 40 Billboard country charts. 100% AI generated. Nobody knew it when it hit the charts, but it was. That's where we're going for the future. We're going to a place where you can actually create music that you want to hear simply by prompting it in some of the platforms that are available for you to use today. Okay, so there's been 2 gigantic shifts in AI over the course of the last year. We already talked about the first, the LLM to agentic. The second is, a year ago, every single CEO that I spoke to said, what platform should I have for my company? And almost without exception, every single IT person said, Copilot. And I can tell you every single employee said, God damn it. Copilot, right? And so today the change is, what platforms, plural, do your team members need to make them better at their job? And each platform today has some strengths where it might be better than another, right? So Claude Cowork, Claude Design, Claude's chat function, Claude's live artifact function are all unique to Claude. And I'll show you those in a few minutes. Gemini's VO 3.1 video platform and Nano Banana image generation platform are unique to them. And they're spectacular. Your marketing team needs Gemini. ChatGPT is spectacular for strategy and research on competition and acquisition ideas. Manus is spectacular at creating websites from scratch in literally 5 minutes. That would normally take somebody 3 months to design if you had to work with the leadership team on how you want your website to look. It can do it immediately. So you have to think about these platforms in a more unique way. Which platforms do my team need in order to succeed? And it's usually plural. So this is a financial dashboard. So I started doing these presentations because of marketing and branding, because that's what my career has been. But I started getting a whole bunch of inquiries about, hey, John, do you think you can do it for finance or for HR or for legal or for mental health? And I said, absolutely, because I'm using all these tools for the companies that I've built. So I created this dashboard. Give me just a second for it to load. This is a publicly traded company that provided me with 2 Excel spreadsheets that were already submitted for their annual results to the SEC. And they said, do you think you can create a financial dashboard for us that's easy for us to understand and that we can share with our stakeholders? This dashboard was created in 12 minutes using those two spreadsheets. You've got fiscal year 2023, 2024. You've got revenue, you've got EBITDA, you've got net income. You've got a ticker symbol. You've got gross profit, gross margin, EBITDA. All of this was done with 2 Excel spreadsheets in 10 minutes. And including, at the bottom, a competitive landscape growth picture. And the reason I share this is because you, too, can do this with your financials with 2 Excel spreadsheets. That's how easy these tools are to create. And this was done in a platform called Manus, which is where if you wanted to include your 2025 financials, you would just go into the thread that you've created and say, hey, here's our 2025 financials. Can you add it to the spreadsheet or to the live dashboard? And it will do it like that. Or you could shift over to Claude, create a live artifact, and inside a live artifact, if you're referencing a folder on your laptop that has your financials, whenever you add a file to that financial, you go into Claude and you click the refresh button and it pulls the information over in real time. Instant. That can be done today. So this is a quick snapshot of where we are with AI right now. ChatGPT has 900 million. Let me repeat, 900 million active weekly users worldwide. Gemini has 750 million active users worldwide. And then my favorite now, and I will be fully transparent with everybody in this audience, I was a huge ChatGPT advocate until February of this year when Claude launched Cowork. And I tested it out, and holy cow. So I shifted, and it's easy to shift. Every single client I've spoken to in the last 3 months has exclusively adopted Claude. Not Chat, not Gemini, Claude. And this is proof. Anthropic, which is the parent company of Claude, just surpassed ChatGPT on enterprise subscription. And families that make $100,000 household income or higher are more likely to use Claude. It has become one of the go-to tools. And then if you want to take a picture of this, take it. How many of your IT teams are saying, I don't know if we should be using this because we can't trust it? Anybody feel comfortable sharing? So here's the challenge, and I would encourage your IT team to do their own research. But it's telling you that as long as you're on the business plan or the enterprise plan, which are usually $20 to $25 per seat per person, which is nothing, it doesn't cost much at all. As long as they're on those, you're secure. Let me repeat that. If you allow your team to use these tools and you subscribe to the business or the enterprise plan, which you can do inside any of the platforms right now, your data is secure. Now, here's the problem. If you aren't providing it to your teams, do not be naive enough to believe they're not using these tools as their own free accounts without telling you, and uploading proprietary information to a free account is not secure. And they're doing that, I guarantee you, if you're not giving them access to these tools. That's how common they are now. So if you're telling your teams, I'm not going to let you use ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude, maybe even you have to use Copilot, they're going home and they're using ChatGPT, Claude, or Gemini. I promise. And I have heard that in rooms like this over and over, where a team member will come up to me after the CEO has shared with me that they don't currently allow their team to use Claude or Gemini or Chat, and the team members come up and say, well, yeah, they don't allow it because it's blocked downstairs, but if I go to the upstairs conference room, they forgot to block it on that Wi-Fi. So that's where I go when I do my emails. So don't be naive enough to believe that it's not being done if you don't have the business or the enterprise account. This is odd, guys. What's the number one use of generative AI in 2025? Therapy and companionship. Kind of like what you saw in the South Park episode. Here's the spoiler. I've sat in front of mental health experts, and we have had conversations, and they have said that in the world that we live in, most people cannot afford a therapist or a counselor. So if their only option is to turn to ChatGPT to find out that what they're feeling is okay and they're not alone, or to have nothing, they would pick ChatGPT in a heartbeat. So think about that. I've had people in the room who have been kind enough to say, I use it for therapy with my wife. She sends me text messages. I know I'm in trouble. And then I copy those messages to chat, and I'm like, what do I say? I've actually had people do that, right? I had one gentleman who said his mom lives in the Midwest. His father had passed. The kids had all moved out of town. So she wakes up every morning, and she hops onto ChatGPT, and she gets to learn something new each day. And he is so happy that she doesn't just sit in a Barca-lounger and watch TV, that she actually is stimulating her brain every single day. And then I've also heard that there are starting to be studies about how children who are, God forbid, contemplating suicide, if they have nothing to turn to or one of these platforms, if they turn to the platform, the percentage of them that actually do it drops drastically. And that's a big deal. And the platforms, as we've said, are learning every single day, and they're getting better every single day.
This is Tom. Work has been weird lately. He's got to fly the coop, and fast. Luckily, AI mode in Google search can help him hatch a plan. It's got to be quick, and it's got to be, yeah. That should do it. Phew, things were getting dicey there for a moment, but now everything's gravy. Planning a quick getaway? Just ask Google.
So the first fully AI-generated Google commercial created by their AI lab, no agency, no creative team, 95% less expensive than their other ad campaigns, and done in 90% less time. And if you think that it's just a big company like Google that can do it, it's not.
Sorry. Encore tiède sur l'évier. Un cheveu blond qui casse sur mon pull décousu d'hier. Ton livre ouvert en travers, une phrase soulignée, restée. C'est parfois se taire, tu l'as lu, tu es parti quand même.
Small company out of Europe, the only thing they had were images of their watches. And they were able to create an ad campaign for almost $0 simply by using VO 3.1 and photos of their watches. Everybody can do it today.
The education system as we know it today is done. Google launched a product, Learn Your Way. It takes any file, any book, any information, and it customizes it to the person that's trying to learn it. So if I'm in 8th grade and I like baseball and I want to learn about economics, it will adapt any piece of content to me, and it does infographics, and it does assessments, and it does tests, and it does podcasts on the topic. Here's a big thing. Education isn't the only industry that's being disrupted with AI. Learn it, use it, play with it. Do not pretend it's not coming your way.
So think about it this way. When we were in school as kids, we had two choices. We had private or public. That's it, right? And in all honesty, I always thought there's no way I'm sending my kids to private school. Guess where my kids are now. And when we went to school, we had good teachers and we had shitty teachers. And a shitty teacher, we'd get a C, right? Because they just didn't teach the way that I best understood or whatever the case may be. And the awesome teachers, the ones that really got us motivated, we got A's from. Can you imagine a time, which is what Google is shooting for, so is Khan Academy, where our kids are able to be taught the way they best receive information in every single course? Video, podcast, audio, notes on a Word document, whatever way they best receive information. There's a school in Texas called the Alpha School. The Alpha School is the first fully AI integrated school that I'm aware of in North America. And right now, Each student is given a personal AI tutor for an hour and a half a day. They work with that AI platform and they learn about the subjects they want to learn about. And then the other 4.5 hours a day, they work on passion projects, community involvement, leadership skills, all the things that are person to person. And those students are now scoring in the top 1% to 2% of students in America. So the system has to change. And it's going to change because AI is going to let us do it. The challenge is to make sure that we continue to allow our kids to absorb information in a way that benefits them and that they're able to retain. Accenture is the first company that I'm aware of that has officially made it mandatory for leadership teams to use AI in order to get senior level promotions. It's the first company that's done it. I got a call 2 weeks ago from the largest financial institution in America. They heard me speak at a conference in San Diego called FinTech, Financial Technology Conference. And they said, we have every AI platform you can imagine has been built specifically for our brand because we have the money to do it, but nobody is using it for anything but emails. Can you come and train 7 of our teams all over the world on how to use the tools the way that you know how to use them? This is a company worth $1 trillion. And they're having a tough time getting teams to actually use the tools they want to use in the right way. That's what I do. That's why we're here today. So, why would you use artificial intelligence? You're going to use it to create better content, create better graphics, maintain a consistent voice across every communication piece you will create, analyze data like you've never seen before, and solve some of the most complicated challenges that you didn't think you could solve. And you're going to solve them in a matter of minutes. And I know that's hard for some people to believe, but it's true. Okay, so these are the tools that my team uses every single day. And this has changed almost every single workshop that I do. Claude Cowork is our go-to. I'll show you that in a minute. Manus is number 2. ChatGPT 5.5 is our 3rd choice. Gemini for video and graphics. 11 Labs for voice. Lindy is a new personal favorite. I just started using this a week and a half ago. It is my AI assistant. Every single morning I get texts saying, hey, here's what's going on today, here's what you need to do, here's the emails and the research I did because I created agents inside Lindy that do research for me every single morning based on goals that I have to achieve from my business perspective. And they're in my text thread every morning, and they're already in my draft box ready to go if I'm sending an email to anybody. And it's done every single day, instantly, by 6, 6:30, and 7 a.m. The 3 different platforms, or 3 different agents that I've created. And then SpeakFeed is my platform, fully transparent. I've been doing this for 1.5 years, 2 years now, and the feedback from folks in the rooms like this, I never saw. So I created a platform where at the end of this presentation, I'm going to ask you to scan a QR code and provide me with real feedback on what you think, what you saw, what could I have done better? Hopefully nothing. What could I have done better? And I want honest feedback on how to do it. And then it's built on the back of AI platforms. So then I can share the results with other people, with my team. Then I can share it with myself to make sure that I make adjustments as needed. So do we have Hanseloy in the room? Anybody? You want to come up for just a second? I'm going to show you something I want to see. Come on, you're going to be my first guinea pig. Come on up. I'm not going to ask you to do too much because we're not officially in the hot seat moment yet, but I want to share something. I'm John. Al, very nice to meet you. Thanks for coming out. Okay, so here's what I did. I went into Manus and I gave Manus a list of a lot of the folks who are going to be in this room today. And I said, hey, can you do research on all 100 plus companies in the room? And then when you're done with that, can you identify one company that would most benefit from a brand new homepage? And it went through its research and it came back and it said, you know what, I think the number 1 would probably be your company because there's some opportunity. They are a spectacular organization. You provide 90% of the blades, is that correct? Sure. Yeah, so maybe not. We'll find out in a second. But that their website could use some help because they are so known in the world as the premier product for what you do that we needed to change it. So we had Manus create a brand new homepage for you. And right now, this is not public, so nobody else can see it except for those of us in the room. And I want your honest feedback, because one of the things we need to understand is this is not 100%, but this whole thing was created in 11 minutes. So take a look at this. The world doesn't slice without us. It says Hanseloy engineers and manufacturers the world's most trusted bread slicing blades, proprietary steel alloys, precision ground edges, and the longest blade life in the industry. Then it's got your years of experience. It's got count up timers for your years in business. The #1 world leader in bread slicing, 100% made in the USA. Is this all correct? Engineered for perfect precision. Right now, these are placeholder images. So these aren't accurate. But what I can tell you is he could go in and he could say, here are 4 images that I want you to replace in these different spots on my website, and it will do it instantly. And then we go down and we're like, engineered different, proven superior, proprietary steel alloys, precision grinding technology, longest blade life, universally compatible. Highest, is this all correct for your company? Things that you promise? 90 years of American precision. Founded in 1933 in Davenport, Iowa. This was all done, guys, in 9 minutes. Do you know how long it takes to create a website from scratch if you're trying to work with a marketing team? Like 6 weeks just to get a CEO in the room with you. But to be able to go and say, hey, this isn't right, but let's start with something like this. And we can make these changes. Is it fairly on brand for you guys?
Yeah, fairly on brand.
Fairly on brand?
Yes.
Sharp, strong, Hanseloy, and then it's got a contact form built in, and it's got your footer. 9 minutes.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to redesign a website, you can go here and you can say, hey, give me 3 different versions, and then you can try to go from there. What do you think overall? Is this something that you think you could have done that quickly?
Well, we're working on this right now, and it's taking months. So there you go.
See, for those of you that didn't hear him, he said he's been working on this for months, and here we go. This is a testimonial. I did this for a group in Hawaii last month. They were a company out of Southern California doing a conference in Maui, and the woman, the CEO, said, please do not show how quickly you can make a website because we just paid $35,000. Right?
We haven't spent any money yet.
Oh, so there you go. So this is the kind of tool your team can start with. So thank you. A gift card to Starbucks for being my first guinea pig. Thank you so much for coming up. I appreciate it. Okay, do we need to do the passing of lunch at noon? Is that correct, Renee? Any minute?
It's any minute, sorry.
Okay. Okay, perfect. Sounds good. So here's where we're going to go. I'll keep going, and then when the food comes out, we'll do a slight little pause. So one of the things everybody needs to know is whenever you use an AI platform, being polite actually matters. I did a workshop for a billion-dollar beverage brand in Seattle on Wednesday, a few days back, and the woman who brought me in was joking about how she is ridiculously blunt with her AI platform. She's like, I think it's going to happen is ChatGPT is going to send an HR complaint to our tech person because of the way I talk to it. And what she didn't realize at the time is that higher quality outputs actually occur when you talk to it like you would talk to your best team member. Give them clear direction on what you want them to do. Be polite. Number 2, it actually impacts the performance. And I've seen this time and time again in the 4-hour interactive workshops I do where we get people together at a table and they're using 2 different laptops, and we have one person who doesn't realize it say, hey, can you create a new website for me? And the deliverable is crap because he didn't say anything about his company or who he is. It just randomly went out and designed a shitty website. Where the person next to him said, hey, I work for XYZ company. Can you do research on who we are, what we do, and create a website that will allow us to steal market share from our competitors immediately? That created a homepage that they loved. So the prompt matters. My personal favorite is it increases better behavior. Our kids are going to be using these tools every single day of their lives. And if they choose to be rude or blunt with the platform, that's going to spill over into how they act in society. And there's nothing I despise more than when I'm on a plane and the teenager next to me doesn't say please and thank you when they get the Coke or the peanuts. I don't know why that rubs me wrong, but it absolutely does. So those are the kind of things that we need to do. And then if this is the weird one, I didn't even know this, cultural nuance. It's even more important to be polite with the platforms if you're in Japan or South Korea, because their cultures are much more polite. So yes, you have to be polite with the tools. So I went in and I created a dashboard for BEMA. What this means is I asked the platform to do research on all 100 people or 100 brands that are in the room today. Do a SWOT analysis, let me understand who they are, what they're all about. But then pick 25 that we might actually interact with during the live session. And so what it created was, here, I'll zoom in so you guys can see it. There we go. AI is reshaping every bakery on earth. It profiled 25 companies. The AI advantage, it does predictive intelligence, demand forecasting, process optimization, quality assurance, customer intelligence, supply chain resilience. Then it breaks it down by category. These are all the categories that it picked from, which is insane. And then you go down, you're like, okay, let's pick one of these companies. Do we want to bring up, how about Cavana Packaging? Are they in the room? Oh, see, you don't show up, you don't get to play. Okay, let's just, how about Colborne? Is Colborne here? Oh my goodness, okay, why don't you guys look at the list and tell me who's here? JLS or King's Hawaiian? Reading, Baking, Lalamond, Quick Lock? Quick Lock, where's Quick Lock? Come on over. Yeah, thank you. Come on up. Thank you for being here. See what happens? You all have to go tell everybody that didn't show up that they're... Never mind, I'll be polite. I'm John. Jordan. Nice to meet you, Jordan. Come on over. Okay, so with Quick Lock, undisputed global leader in bag closures, correct?
Check.
Okay, so it's got a company overview. Quick Lock manufactures, supplies innovative bag closures. You're based in Yakima?
Correct. Yeah, I'm in SoCal, but the company's in Yakima.
Nice, I'm out of Seattle, so way to go. I love that. Company history, founded in 1954 by Floyd Paxton in Yakima, Washington. Quick Lock was born from a simple but brilliant idea, carved the first bag closure from a credit card on an airplane to close a bag of apples.
Nailed it.
Wow, see? And again, it's doing its own research. And then we go into the SWOT analysis for your company that it did. Strengths, undisputed global market leader, iconic product, weaknesses, single product. Sorry, I'm not supposed to use the word weaknesses, apparently, according to AI. So we'll call these opportunities as well, or maybe we'll figure it out. Single product category, commodity pricing pressures from low-cost alternatives. Some of your opportunities, AI-powered production optimization. Some of your threats, plastic ban legislation in key markets, alternative closure technologies. And then it says, here's your hot seat prompt. And what it's done is it said, you're an AI innovation strategist. The company faces existential challenge. 14 countries have banned or are phasing out single-use plastics. Is that right?
Yeah.
Threatening, C said, yep, threatening their core polystream and bag closure business. And it's given us a very thorough prompt, market data, and then design an AI-powered transition strategy, material recommendation engine, which sustainable material for which customer segment, predictive model for regulatory timelines. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy the prompt, and then I'm going to take you over to, we'll just do here with chat, and I'm going to say, we are live in the hot seat with Quick Lock, is that right? K-W-I-K? L-O-K. And we'd love your help with the following after you have already done your AI research. So I've already had ChatGPT do the research on everybody. So here is our prompt. Actually, hold on. I'm going to switch this because we're in Pro. Pro might take a while. Hold on a second. We're going to shift out of Pro because Pro, we don't have time for it. So one of the things we need to know is inside each of the platforms, you have a tool that you can use. So we're in ChatGPT 5.5. Instant is going to return the fastest answer with the least amount of research. Medium will do middle amount of research. High will do more, extra high, and Pro. We'll do medium, and we'll paste the prompt here. This shouldn't take too long. It's going to think, searching projects, thinking. Let's see what it says. And we're doing it live. Absolutely. Here's a strong hot speed response you can live with quick lock. You can go live. Big strategic goal. You should not position this as a defensive move away from plastic. It should position this as a customer transition platform that helps bakeries stay compliant, protect margins, maintain line speed. The core idea, use AI to match the right sustainable closure to the right customer in the right region at the right price before regulation or competitors force the decision. Material recommendation engine. Create an AI tool that recommends the best sustainable closure. Recommend the material strategy. Segment number 2, sustainability forward premium brands. Paper-based closures. Why? Strong consumers. Risk, 34% higher cost. Do these numbers ring true to you? 34% higher cost for a paper versus plastic?
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
It depends on the supplier.
Depends on the suppliers?
Challenges with paper though, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's what it's saying. Ideal customer, risk, 12% slower machine usage, positioning the most visible sustainability signal on the bag. Segment number 3, innovation pilots and future-focused accounts. Best fit, bioplastics, but only in controlled pilots. AI output, the recommended engine should produce material recommendations, cost impact, machine compatibility, regulatory urgency scores, customer retention risk, suggested pricing range, sales talking points, and implementation timelines. Then it goes through the timeline model. So this, look at how much information it's given you. So this is the kind of thing that you would then go into a Claude and say, hey, can you actually create this platform for me live? We can't do it today because it would take too much time. But you can get an idea of, here's your high-risk customer profiles. Are you guys using any of these tools right now?
We use Copilot, and we're absolutely utilizing it to have conversations and drive projects like this.
Do you like Copilot?
I have not used enough. I haven't used enough platforms to say either way. My brother, who's really techie, he's encouraged me to use Claude.
He has. Okay, perfect. And is it because your company hasn't approved Claude yet?
No, not necessarily. I think that we're trying to understand which platform's best for us right
Okay, perfect. And again, remember it's platforms now. So when you talk to your team, I would recommend, so Claude is usually the number one that people are going to, but think about your marketing and branding probably needs to have Gemini, things like that. Give him a big round of applause for being our second hot seat. Thank you for coming up, appreciate it. Oh wait, here's your gift card. Another Starbucks gift card. Just so you guys know, some of these are from Canada and some of them are from the US, so whatever the dollar amount is, I can't promise it's not in Canadian dollars. All right, are we doing lunch now? Okay, so let's take 5 minutes. I've got a couple companies in the room that I've met. I'm gonna put a prompt in and we're gonna play around with them live when we get back. Does that sound good? So take 5 minutes to grab some lunch, everybody. All right, everybody, let's get back to it because we got about another 20 minutes of interactive, then we're going to talk about the future. Just out of curiosity, who's gotten value out of today already? Anybody? Raise your hand if you've gotten value out of today. Okay, good. I know you're eating, so most of you have your hands wrapped around food, so don't worry about it. Okay, so next up, do we have Colborne in the room? Colborne, no. Well, and they're out. How about Casa Herrera? Oh man, you guys are killing me over here. All right. How about Newsmith? Casa Herrera, come on up. Thank you. You're Casa Herrera. I'm John. Nice to meet you, Mark. Come on up. Okay, so here's a little different thing that we did this time. So we mentioned earlier that Claude has a new platform. Oh, here, I'm going to give you the microphone, so in case you want to talk. Okay, so Claude has a new element inside of it called Claude Design. If you're in Claude, you will see down here, it says Claude Design. If you click that, it will take you to your Claude Design platform. In this scenario, I said I'd love your help with something. I'm leading a keynote. I want to create something that will wow everybody in the room. And I asked it to do some research on companies in the room. And it came back and it said Casa Herrera would be one of the beneficial companies to do a brand new style for your site through Claude Design. And this is what it created. And you tell me, the machines, let me enlarge this so it's full scale.
I just did my website.
See? Talk to me next time. How much did you pay for it? A lot? Yeah, you don't have to be
Enough.
Enough? So what I typically hear is the sites are designed now are somewhere between $25,000 and $50,000 for an agency. And you can do it in Claude Design or Manus for under $30 a month. And I know that sounds crazy, but I can tell you right now, somebody came up earlier and asked if we did it, how would we do that process? So my personal company's website used to be garbage. I had a client who's a billion-dollar brand, and he was going to bring me in for AI, and he said, I went to your website, it only talks about marketing and brand. I said, you're right, I haven't had a chance to update it. The next morning, in 60 minutes, my entire website was updated by Manus. I sent him the link, he goes, holy shit, I didn't think you could do that so quickly. And now, the benefit is I can go into Manus whenever I want, and say, hey, I want you to make a change to my site, and it will make the change live in real time, and I can update. So our sites are no longer once every 10 years. So for your company, it went in and it made a site that says, the machines behind the world's tortilla. Does that sound right for you?
Sort of.
Sort of. And again, these are the kind of things, and I love when it's not 100% accurate, because it won't be. Rule number one, these are not going to get you 100% of the way there. They're going to get you 75, 80% of the way there. Then you, as a leader of your company, need to step up and take it the final 15%, which means you'd go in and be like, I don't like that tagline. Can you pick 4 or 5 more for me to choose from? And then built in 1951?
Yes.
And tortillas, chips, taco shells, tostadas, pastas, arepas, pitas, shaped by Casa, correct?
Correct.
All right. That's a counting number. Tortillas and chips pressed on a Casa Herrera line so far in 2026, 28 billion. See? And then we have 3 generations, 1 unbroken line since 1951. 3 generations of family, 100,000 square foot facility in Pomona?
Yes.
Corn to coma, masa to bag, corn tortilla systems, flour tortillas, ovens. And then it's got from multinationals to the cornerstone on 6 continents. Do you sell product to 6 continents? So look at how easy this is. So from your perspective, this got you, what do you think, 40, 50% of the way there? 60% of the way there?
At least,
okay.
yeah.
So would you, if I were to talk to you and say, hey, we built this in 5 minutes.
There you go.
Yeah, see? And so these are the kind of things you can do internally with your team. That's how quick it is to do it. So thank you for being hot seat number 3. Here's a gift card for you. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure meeting you. Okay, so is Newsmith in the room? Come on up, Newsmith, come on up. I did something different for you guys, so yours isn't marketing. Come on up. I don't know if you know, but at breakfast this morning, I saw your family, so I took a picture of your name tag and started working on it. Nice to meet you. Here's Brandon. Brandon, nice to meet you. Come on over. So here's what I did with you guys, which is a little bit different. And this, I don't know if this is accurate or not, but I had it create what I think would be a tool to help you guys understand and position yourselves differently for product lines. So it's got Newsmith North America. It's got bakery crate washer and a chocolate mold washer. Are those things that you currently sell?
Yep.
And then it's got high throughput line, focus on baking residue, basket turnover, BEMA sanitation standards, continuous tunnel jetting keeps crates moving. Does that sound right?
Yep.
Okay, so what it's done is it's created a sliding scale where you can talk about how many crates per day the people need, the clients. It's a sliding scale. What the labor cost is per hour in that marketplace. What the active wash staff total number of employees are that you need.
A lot lower than that.
Is it? What do you think? 2?
2.
So 2. What about a labor cost average? What do you think?
Ooh, don't know. That's not my question.
So let's say in Oregon your labor
Yeah, that's fine.
26.
Sure.
And max capacity. What's an average max capacity?
A day?
Yeah.
Do 10,000.
Do 10,000. We'll go all 10,000 is the max. So what it's telling you is if your client wanted this, they're going to save $17,000 per month by using your machine. They're going to have an annual savings of $209,000 and a payback period of 10.3 months to pay the entire thing back. And then if you wanted to shift it, it did the chocolate mold washer. It's a different model. How many molds per day, labor cost, active wash staff. Similar thing with this line, it's a $7,000 savings. And the other thing we need to keep in mind with this is the benefit at the end is it has the ability to connect to a platform that you may use. So if you have a CRM platform or a Excel platform that you use that keeps track of all this stuff, you would just upload that to the system and it will create it live and it will update every single time you use it.
Perfect.
Pretty cool, right?
That's great.
And we did this literally in 12 minutes this morning after I saw his family at breakfast. That's how crazy this is.
Awesome.
All right, Brandon, thank you for stepping up. Appreciate it. Yeah, my pleasure. Here's your Starbucks gift card. There you go. All right, so let's see. We're going to let's do one more. I want to do one with a company. Who wants to volunteer? Anybody want to volunteer to come up? Come on up. This one's going to be on the fly. And this one, if you don't mind, we're going to do some marketing on this one because I want to show you guys the power of voice. So come on up. What's your name and which company are you from?
Jason Tucker from Pure Autos.
All right, Jason, I'm John. Nice to meet you. Pure Autos. Perfect. Let's come on over here. So what I want to do is for you, do you guys do some marketing and branding right now?
Yeah.
What kind of marketing and branding do you focus on?
B2B.
B2B marketing and branding? Okay, so we're going to say we are live with PURATOS, right?
Correct.
At the BEMA conference. Can you create a B2B marketing campaign for me that will help them steal market share after knowing what you know about their brand? See what it says. It's going to take a couple seconds to think. I use the medium one when I'm in sessions like this. If I'm at home or if I'm in my office and it's super important that I get it right, I will upgrade to the pro version. So I would encourage you to do that if you want more data. So the campaign name, the Future Ready Bakery Advantage. Pure Auto should position itself not just as an ingredient supplier, but as a strategic partner helping bakeries win the next decade. Competitors can sell ingredients. Pure Autos can sell consumer insights and innovation. Target audience, commercial bakery CEOs, R&D leaders, innovation teams, market share opportunity. You can win share by going after bakery customers who feel pressure from changing consumer tastes, the demands. Here are our ingredients. Here's how we help you create the products your customers will buy next. The main message, Pure Autos helps bakery brands turn tomorrow's consumer trends into today's best-selling products. Campaign pillar, it goes on and on and on. So what I want to do now is can you create a name for and typos don't usually matter, but I'd try to correct them if you can, for the first campaign we should create to hit our sales goals. Let's see what it says. And the reason I'm doing this is because I wanted to create a campaign name, the Future Ready Bakery Sprint. Why it works? It sounds fast, practical, sales-oriented. Bake what's next, the next bestseller, Future Ready Bakery. Turn tomorrow's consumers into your next growth product. So I'm going to have it do something fun. Can you create a 30-second script for an audio file we can use on our B2B social platforms. So let's see what it comes up with. Here's your script. Bakery consumers are changing fast. They want products. So I'm going to, while we're in time, I'm going to say, can you also create the logo and tagline image for this campaign? I'm going to have it do that because that's going to take a second. So we're going to have it start there. And then while it's doing that, I'm going to take this script and I'm going to copy it over into 11 Labs. We talked about this earlier. I've got a fun teacher voice just for fun. We'll pop in the campaign and we'll generate the speech. See what it does.
Bakery consumers are changing fast. They want products that feel healthier, taste incredible, look premium, and still deliver value. The question is, can your innovation pipeline keep up? With the Future Ready Bakery Sprint, Puratos helps your team turn consumer trends into real product opportunities faster. In one focused session,
that's one version.
Bakery consumers are changing fast.
Here's another version.
They want products that feel healthier, taste incredible, look premium, and still deliver value.
We can enhance it.
The question is, can your innovation pipeline keep up? With the Future Ready Bakery Sprint, Puratos helps your team identify what your customers may want next, where your category...
See how quickly we can make these changes?
Bakery consumers are changing
And he
fast.
can change the voice simply by going over here and picking from thousands of different voices that he may want. For fun, let's go to Annika, just for shits and giggles. We'll have Annika come in, and we'll have Annika generate the speech.
Bakery consumers are changing fast. They want products.
So if you want to break a marketing with the
incredible, look premium,
see how quickly this can change?
Value. The question is, can your innovation pipeline keep up? With the Future Ready Bakery Sprint, Puratos helps your team turn consumer trends into real
Let's see what Arabella's like.
Faster. In one focus session, we identify...
They have different languages. They have different accents.
Bakery consumers are changing fast. They want products that feel healthier, taste incredible.
Yeah, it's got a little sexy twist to it, huh? See? This is what we're looking for right there. So you guys can get an idea of how quickly we can make these changes. And then let's see what it's... And there's a logo. Whether you like it or not, it's up to you, right? You could say, change it. You can make edits to it. You can have it pop your logo on it. You can do whatever you want, but it can change the images immediately for you.
Can you ask it to integrate the logo?
Let's see, you can integrate the actual logo from Puratos. See what it does. It might take a second. So let's give it a moment and see. What did the last one take? It took 46 seconds. So let's see what this one takes. So again, when it comes to like visual design elements, this doesn't mean that we're 100% there. But you can get 5 or 6 different design styles from these platforms, then hand those off to your graphic designer, who will now take 20 or 30 minutes to make adjustments versus starting with a blank screen. And all of that stuff can be done in a matter of seconds. It seems I didn't get any results from an image search. Do you guys have a logo online? Maybe I should try a text search for the official site. So let's do this. I'll give you the gift card. We'll let it run. Yeah. Thank you so much for being another part of the group. Perfect. You got it. Give him a round of applause. Okay, so before we leave this, I'm going to go and show some people what I was talking about earlier. So remember when I talked about the connectors? So in your inside Claude, both on the desktop or inside Cowork, you have connectors, you have skills, and you have plugins. Inside connectors, you can add hundreds of different connectors that are all protected, all connected with an API or an MCP, instantly to your account. And then you can interact with those platforms live that moment. And they are only getting to be more and more and more. You have SharePoint, you have Google, you have Gemini, you have Databricks. I mean, look at Calendly. All of these are available for you to link to your account right now. Then you have plugins. This changed the way that businesses operate. 4 months ago when they first launched these plugins, there were 4: marketing, finance, HR, and accounting. And the day they announced it, the stock market in the US tanked by between 800 and 1,000 points because people started wondering why. And that's because you can add a legal plugin to your platform, and it will now act as your attorney. And it will draft legal documents for you instantly. And I have done this for every legal document that my company has created. And the first few, I ran by a friend of mine who was an attorney, and he said, wow, these are pretty good. There's not much I would change. So I don't have to pay him $500 or $600 an hour for his time. It will also review contracts, compare contracts, and let you know what you need to know about that. And it does it for legal, marketing, productivity, finance, sales, data, engineering, human resources, design. They're all available for you to use right now. And then another thing to share with everybody, because I had one person say, I have a relationship with ChatGPT that I want to change. You go into settings, and you go into capabilities, import memory from any other AI provider. So if you wanted to switch from Chat over to Claude, you can do it. It gives you the instructions on how to do that. Every platform has these abilities to do today. It's crazy. And then the last thing I want to show you is these things called artifacts. Artifacts are platforms that include, I mentioned it earlier, you put in your financials and it creates whatever you want it to create, and then whenever that folder adjusts, I simply hit the reload button on the top and it pulls in the newest information. It's called a live artifact. It does it instantly. So if you have a CRM platform that you hate using because it's complicated, create an artifact, connect it to HubSpot and say, hey, I want you, which is what I did. I built a CRM platform for us through our HubSpot account. Hopefully it works because this morning it was challenging, but let's see if it pulls it up. There you go. So this is my HubSpot account. And whenever we make changes, you just hit the refresh button, which it just did, June 27th at 12:32. It made its update. It tells me who my contacts are. It tells me who the companies are, engaged contacts, interested replies. So this is our CRM platform live. So I don't have to go to HubSpot and try to get the report myself. This is one of the reasons why every company that I've worked with over the last 3 months has switched over to Claude. Because they have live artifacts. They have the design platform. They have the, in this platform you have chat, you have co-work, and then you have the coding if you want to do coding. All right, so please tell me everybody got something out of the interactive session. Raise your hand if you did, please. Love it. That's what I want to hear. Okay, so now, you guys okay if we move into the future? Is that the right Puratos logo? Okay, so it did that color scheme to match the design that it created. So then you go and you'd be like, hey, can you readjust the whole thing to match our color scheme? So it did pull the logo. So it gives you an idea of how exciting it is. You guys ready to go into the future? Okay, let's do that. All right, here we go. Okay, so we did the dashboard, we did that. Okay, so what's the future look like? So I already mentioned this is what my teams focus on for the future. Number one, continuing to do keynotes and workshops like this. And the reason I do it, here's the challenge, is every single company that's brought me in has brought me in for one of two reasons. One, they haven't implemented AI yet and they want to get started. Number two, they implemented it, but their teams are scared to use it because they think they're going to lose their jobs. So my job is to come in, be in the room with the CEO and the whole team, and let the CEO talk about how these tools are not here to take your job. These tools are here to help you be more efficient with what you do every single day. That's the ultimate goal. And then, of course, we do ongoing AI updates for clients, and then we do marketing and branding, which is 4 years ago what I thought I was going to be doing with my career. It's just taken a big shift. So every week I ask every AI platform who is winning when it comes to general business purposes. You ask ChatGPT, and ChatGPT says, I'm winning. No surprise, right? And then it's got Copilot at number 2, Claude at number 3, Gemini at number 4, and Perplexity at number 5. Each of these platforms created this infographic after it did its research for me. But look at that, the logos are wrong. right? That's not Gemini's logo. Isn't that Microsoft's logo? Right? So again, not 100%, but then you ask Claude, and Claude says ChatGPT is number one. I actually like this because it allows me to understand that the platforms aren't necessarily defaulting to themselves. And I think that's an important thing to remember when it comes to AI, is the best platforms are the ones that don't have any bias. They're just basing it on the factual information they can find in their gigantic research that they've done. It says Claude is number 2, Gemini's number 3, Copilot's 4, Perplexity's 5. Then you ask Gemini, and Gemini says Chat's number 1, Claude's number 2, Copilot is 3. So you're seeing a trend. You ask Grok. Grok is way off on its images. Sometimes it even has gigantic typos, which is not supposed to happen anymore. But Grok says Chat's number 1, Gemini's number 2. And then my favorite platform, Manus, Chat's number 1, Claude's 2, Copilot's 3. But the future. Anybody hear about Claude having to take down Fable? Because the US government sent them a letter saying that it was in the interest of national security that they remove it. That's scary. It's very scary. And there's some contemplation about that's punishment for what they did with the US government back a couple months ago. But then yesterday, this is why I keep these things quick and updated, and I know Renee had asked me for a slide earlier, but I want to make sure I'm as current as possible. Yesterday, ChatGPT announced that they have been asked to provide to the US government their 5.6 platform, and the US government will select which companies get to use it first. So now, the 2 largest AI platforms on earth have government interference before we can get it used as a consumer. So it's going to be interesting to see how things transition from there. And then you have the personal AI. You have ChatGPT purchasing a company called Torch, which is a medical records company where you can link your medical records to your ChatGPT account and it will monitor your health. That's new. You have ChatGPT announcing 3 weeks ago you can connect your financial accounts to ChatGPT and it will help you with your financial stability. These are big changes. Who would have thought 2 years ago that we would let an AI interact with our personal banking accounts? But we are. That's crazy. And then you have device-level AI. You have Google partnering with Macintosh, with Apple, saying on future iPhones, Siri is going to be controlled by Gemini. That's an interesting play. Whoever expected those two to get together? But they did. And then you have agentic, where all of these things you can create agents for yourself, for your company that work behind the scenes 24/7 on these platforms, and they get real work done for you without you having to do anything. All of them are coming and or are here today. We have wearables. Anybody here have the Meta glasses? No? Meta was the first company to come out with wearable glasses. There is a camera on the lens that takes pictures, takes video. There's a speaker on the ear that allows for what I've been told, some of the clearest audio they've ever heard, and absolutely no background noise when they're on the road driving in a Jeep Wrangler between Edmonton and Calgary. First time that person's been able to ever make phone calls because his Jeep was too loud. Now he can make it with the Meta glasses. And then ChatGPT partnered with Johnny Ive. Anybody know who Johnny Ive is? He created our iPhones, the way they look and feel, and the way we use them. It's called out-of-box interface. A 3-year-old can get an iPhone and use it. He created that look and feel. He's partnered with Sam Altman to create future wearables for ChatGPT. They're coming, and they're coming very soon. The wearable you see up here is supposed to be out by the end of this year, beginning of next year. It will record your day for you. It'll provide you with a summary at the end of the day. And here's one of the weird things that I've heard recently. Boardrooms are telling people you can't bring your watch, your glasses, or your phone into the boardroom anymore because they're afraid they're being recorded. I would guess that in a couple of years, it's probably going to be that they are not going to be able to tell people not to bring it in because they're not going to know what device is on them that records. So you're just going to have to be a little bit more careful of what you say in a boardroom. That's probably where we're going. And then one of my personal passion projects with AI is video, because I think video is one of the biggest tools that AI is going to have the hardest challenge getting right. But guess what? It's almost perfect today. ChatGPT created something called Sora. This was what Sora was supposed to do: create the best videos simply by putting a prompt in. But ChatGPT made an announcement recently that they were getting out of the video business because they weren't able to compete with some of the other platformers, and it was taking time away from what they really wanted to focus on. So I went in, and my wife went through some stuff recently where she had to get some radiation, and when she found out she needed to get some radiation, she looked at me and she goes, "I want you to get me a puppy." So guess what? We got a puppy. This is the puppy. And the only thing here is a still image, which is what you see on the screen now. And I asked the video platform to have the dog walk towards the camera. It's the only thing I said. This platform is called Hedra. Short, sweet, it's okay. It's not awesome, it's okay. Again, it's a still photo. There's no body in the photo, there's no tail, but it can find it. And then I had Sora 2 do the video quickly before they shut down. It's actually got a little blur to it. I don't know if you can tell, but there's a slight blur to the video, which is interesting. But it put music in the background. But take a look at this. This is Google's VO 3.1. Can you tell that's AI? It's crazy, right? Look at that. Can you tell that's AI generated? That's where we're getting to when it comes to these tools. So think about this from your perspective. Training videos, commercials, going out and doing safety checks, getting people to understand what machines need to be done in certain areas, making sure that they're doing it the right way. All of those things can be created by simply taking a picture and then telling the system how you want that picture to interact. It can be done today.
And so they estimate that every single member of their team has gotten about 20% more efficient. And if you multiply that out, it's about 213,000 work hours that Claude has added to the day, or to the year, I suppose. And nobody had to get fired. And this is what happens when your mindset is, how can AI expand the potential of what my business can do, rather than how can I ruthlessly cut? The future belongs to companies that are willing to invest in expanding their potential with AI. The upside is always bigger, because you know why? There's actually a mathematical reason for that. You can only cut to zero. And when you cut, you don't have room to invest. And so the people who are finding good talent, keeping that talent and empowering that talent with AI are going to go a whole lot farther than the companies that are obsessed with cutting.
That's a video I want you to take with you when you leave. In my head, a winning mentality is double in size over the next 5 years. A losing mentality is, I want to cut 50% of my team and put that to the bottom line. That's what I want you to take today. I get there's probably going to be some job loss. Although the data as of 3 days ago is that the job loss has not been anywhere near what people expected, because companies are using AI as a scapegoat for letting their team members go. Because when they dug down to the actual reason why they were released, it had nothing to do with AI. We're 4 years in, and we haven't seen the job loss that we expected. So again, how do you get your team to be more efficient, more effective, keeping your team on board to help you grow? That's everybody's goal. And then what actually happens when teams use it? On average, team members save 8 hours per week. A full workday of time back to do what they love. 33% more productive in every hour spent when they use AI on average. 71% of our organizations investing $10 million report significant productivity gains in the last year. One of the things I would encourage you to do is you have two choices when it comes to launching AI. You bring in a company that will create an AI platform for you, and you pay them $1 million or $2 million, and you sign a 3-year contract. And if you do that, you're locked into that contract for 3 years. And if things advance with AI, God, I hope that the contract has a clause that they continue to do advancements and updates, because I've seen a lot of companies that don't have that in the 3-year contract. No contract with AI should be signed for more than 6 to 9 months from now, because that's how things are changing. The second option you have is to what I call decentralize your AI. Give your team members access to the tools that they want today. Because what happens is you kind of have somebody come in and say, hey, we built a platform for you, use it, is not nearly as exciting for team members as for you to say, hey, what's your favorite platform? And how about we get an enterprise subscription or a business plan so you can get that platform and use it in your day-to-day operations. That gets team members excited.
A guy yelled at me at the airport 3 days ago as if I am actually the inventor of AI. He's like, I saw a video where you said AI is going to be good. I'm like, yeah. He's like, you're a piece of shit. He's like, this is going to take away jobs. I'm like, the tractor took away jobs. When the tractor was invented, 80% of humans on Earth worked in farms. The tractor made it not have to be that. When Google and Yahoo came along, they took away the yellow pages. Nobody feels bad for the people that were selling the yellow pages because you didn't own a taxi medallion. You weren't mad at Uber. You were happy with Uber. But when it comes for you, now it's a fucking problem. People are spending all their time scared that the AI is going to take my creative job away without realizing what it's going to do is take away the mundane and elevate your skill sets. I think we need to start leaning a little more into optimism. And I believe when I see all these beautiful faces in the crowd, that every one of them are capable of adjusting to new truths as long as they start with realizing that they're capable of adjusting to new truths.
So keep in mind, it's not perfect. And it's up to you to confirm. Rule number 1 in any AI playbook for a team should be, you are responsible for what you put out there. So this is one of the main reasons why I shifted from chat to Claude, is for 2 to 3 months, every time I put a prompt into chat, like this one where I was getting ready to do a keynote in Vegas, it came back and told me I needed to respond to Calvin via email. I don't know who Calvin is. It's probably hidden somewhere in some thread somewhere. But every single time I started a new conversation, this is the answer I got. Can you imagine if I copy and pasted that as a response? The ridiculous nature of it all. And then way back when, I asked chat to tell me what it knows about me, and it said I was the marketing executive of the year. I was not. Never received that. And then more importantly, it said I was top 30 under 30 marketer in Forbes magazine in 2020. Now, I might look young, but in 2020, I was ridiculously older than 30. So when I went back to the platform and asked it to tell me where it got the information, it couldn't find it, right? But this was also 2 years ago. Now, if I go into ChatGPT and ask it to tell me about myself, holy shit, is it accurate? Because I've been working with the platform. I've been working with the tools. So again, don't copy, paste, send. Use the platform in the way that it was meant to be used. Have the conversation, do the data analysis, do the marketing and branding. Use the tools, but always have a human in the loop to confirm that what's in it is accurate. Because God forbid you create a financial dashboard, send it out, and it has the wrong financial information. I have not seen that happen yet, but it could. So always have a human in the loop. So before I provide my last thought, I mentioned this earlier, I would love feedback. So 2 things here. Number 1, if you scan the QR code and provide feedback, I would love it because I want to make sure everybody got value out of this. Number 2, you will also get access to our company's AI newsletter that we produce every month. It used to only be for clients, but I've been in enough rooms like this where people have come up afterwards and said, hey, do you have a newsletter I can subscribe to? So I've opened it up to folks that are in the room. But I want to hear what you think to make sure that you got value out of today. Ultimately, when this conference is over, I want you to go to Renee and say, hey, that Lakefish guy kicked ass. Can we have him come back next year and let us know what's new and what's different? Maybe we can even build agents live in a session so you can see how you can get things working behind the scenes. That's my goal. So any feedback you have would be very much appreciated. Okay, so before I go, there is one thing I want to share. So every year, a company called PricewaterhouseCoopers does something that's called, and this is an earful, it's called the Consumer Series survey of trust. What it does, it has asked CEOs and owners of companies, what percentage of your customers trust you? What do you think the CEOs say? Anybody want to shout out a number? 90%, right on the nose. 90%, which is bullshit because we all know we don't trust people that much. And then they flip the question around and they ask consumers, do you trust that company? And only 30% of the consumers actually trust that company. There's a 60% trust gap. CEOs are overestimating by 60 percentage points. That's the erosion of trust. The full circle moment we talked about from the very beginning, where yes, AI is here. Yes, AI is going to be here for the long term. But our role is to use it to get our messaging out there in a sincere and authentic way where we can build trust with our consumers, not erode it. It's not a tool to lie, to cheat, to steal. It's a tool to make you better, to get you more information, to educate you more than you've ever been educated before, and then to pass that on to your consumers, to your customers, so they trust you as an organization. So your goal is to be the brand that consumers can trust. I'm here if you want to. Connect via LinkedIn. Thank you, everybody, for your time today. I appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your time on the beautiful island.